rod mending. Lower end of the motor in the frame. Now I'll put the motor bolts, make some adjustments, and then put the barrels, pistons, barrels, and cylinder heads on. So I'll get back to you in a few moments. Okay, we're back. I'm going to put these motor mount bolts in here and move forward on this motor installation. You want to make sure that you use hardened heavy-duty washers for your motor mount bolts so they don't crush when you're torquing them down. This one's a little bit stubborn. This one's being a little stubborn here. Probably have a burr on the nut or on the end of this bolt threads. I'm just bringing these nuts up to the bottom of the motor mount. I'm going to back it off a little bit so that I can adjust the rock guard. Switch sides again. skid plate up under here, which I had to modify a little bit to fit these Ultima cases. They stick down a little farther, a little bit fatter, so I had to put them in the vise, put the skid plate in the vise, and manipulate it, bend it around, test fit it a couple of times. I believe that I got it to fit pretty well there. We'll see. The closer I get. And I misplaced a nut again. Where the hell did that nut go? This last bolt here needs to be a little stubborn. Alright. Snug fit. Such a snug fit, this bolt is not dropping straight through the motor mount hole. I actually have to work it through with the ratchet. I'd rather have a snug fit than a loose fit. This is that same lock nut that had a little bit of burr on the thread. It's a little bit of a challenge when this sucker started. Alright, finally. Now the same thing as the rear motor mount bolts. I'm going to snug it up and then back it off a quarter turn so that I can adjust the skid plate on the rear skid plate mounts of the frame underneath the motor. Appears that this case sticks down a little bit thicker than the last one. So what I'll have to do is I'll stop the camera here for a moment, go get some longer bolts, a couple of heavy washers for the bottom of the skid plate, and then we'll be back. So. And we're back. So I'm going to put these button head bolts for the skid plate on the bottom. So what you want to do is make sure that the button head is facing the ground. So if you bottom out on something, it just skims right across the top of it. If you have a bolt head sticking out there, a nut or a bolt head that catches on a curb or a speed bump, not only could you tear it off, but you might never get it back off again. So that's why I like to use a button head. Not the easiest thing to put in there, because sometimes the nut wants to jam in between the frame. It's kind of a tight squeeze. Sometimes it's easier than other times, and this is one of those times when it's not as easy. But a bit of patience, and eventually get it. Yeah, because we're trying to manipulate the washer and the nut between this crevice of the frame underneath the seat post, and it continues to slide off to the side and wedge itself in between the we can do it again. A little bit of a challenge sometimes because this support on the bottom of the frame is at the very base of the seat post is sloped, so the washer and nut wants to keep sliding back and off into the crevice, and so I was kind of struggling with it for a bit. Just about got it. So I use my stubby wrench because it's a little easier to get in there, and then I'll switch ratchets. And I'll switch over from this stubby ratchet to frickin' ratchet go. So switching from the stubby ratchet to the standard length ratchet, get a little bit more leverage and more torque on those.
You talking to yourself over here?
I am talking to myself. I'm actually talking to the camera.
Oh, you have the camera's not on.
This one is.
Mine's not.
Well, that's operator error. You should be operating it.
There used to be a damn camera thing flat here.
I remember it.
So he moved it. You don't mind that? That's pretty close. It's gonna work. We're gonna have something on top and over it this way. Oh, I can't see it. Is that any bigger?
The great thing about using nylock nuts is if you don't get it
Taller or wider?
as tight as you wanted,
Shorter or
which these are pretty tight,
Yeah, shorter.
they're not going to back out and fall off.
Without a hole.
Oh, without a hole?
Looks like I did an amazing job on bending that skid plate.
This one? Doesn't have
The
holes.
skid plate fits as well, if not better, than factory.
These ones have holes.
So,
That's a hole.
Not a big
get
hole.
that lined up.
But is it a hole?
And now I'm doing the final torque on the last motor mount bolt. Switch ratchets. I like this ratchet better. So I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm holding the socket head, Allen wrench, in the top of the Allen bolt with the ratchet, and then I'm torquing the box end wrench on the bottom of the nylock nut of this last remaining motor mount bolt. Give it about a quarter turn more. Okay, that's pretty good. So, I'm gonna check clearance on a couple of things, and I'm gonna get back to you on putting the lifter blocks, lifters, pistons, cylinders, and heads. Then we'll switch over to the other side to the inner primary, put the charging system on, the clutch, and so on. All right.